AC.
When EMS hit, our survival rate was like 1%, 2%, 5%. I think if we got 10%, we were lucky. And we kept, like I mentioned earlier, we kept trials, and then we start to improve. And now, I must say that we are seeing much, much better. We're 50, 60, 70, 72% survivals with the pons right now.
We are only using about 30% of the entire acreage that we have. We have plans to completely fill up all the ponds, so that automatically increases the production capacity for our farm in general, but all the farms in general also, because we do keep in touch as a growers association, and then we talk about what's their ramp up plan, and everybody is very hopeful of the industry growing back to its previous glory.
At one point there was 17 shrimp swamps, and over the period 11 closed down. But with Mr. Robbie interest, I can see that restoration coming every single day. Just around COVID, the production dropped to 1.02 million. And as we progress this year, we expect to reach at least 3 million pounds of shrimps in the country. And I hope that those that are investing in shrimps today will definitely see progress maybe 3 or 4 years from today.
Welcome back with your news. I am Drea Espinosa. The entire country experienced an unplanned blackout Tuesday night. In a release today, BEL said the cause was a sudden loss of power from Mexico's CFE, which started at 7:28 p.m. and concluded at 10:54 p.m. The shortage caused by CFE cutting supply to Belize was 19 megawatts. In-country generation at the time of the CFE supply loss stood at only 103 megawatts, while evening peak demand reached 122 megawatts. BEL further explained that in-country generation is currently constrained due to seasonal and maintenance-related factors. BEL subsequently issued a tentative load shedding schedule set to conclude at 1 this morning. Earlier today, it notified of another tentative load shedding schedule for tonight, saying CFE has advised that power curtailments may be necessary due to high demand on their side. The scheduled outages, which may affect portions of all districts, are divided into 2 primary time blocks. Firstly, from 6 to 9 p.m., expected areas to be affected in Belize City is Belize Feeder 4, which includes Kings Park, West Landiver, the entire area between North Front Street and Princess Margaret Drive, and a portion of Coney Drive. Also affected will be Orange Walk Feeder 1 from the Pasadita area to Audinette Alley, Blue Creek Street to Liberty Avenue, Palmar Boundary, Chan Pine Ridge, Tower Hill, Guinea Grass, Carmelita, Santa Martha, and surrounding areas. Included in the same time ban are Corozal Feeder 5 and 6 from Chan Chen to Santa Elena, the Corozal Free Zone, Santa Clara to Concepcion, San Narciso to San Victor, San Pedro to Yo Chen, Libertad, Estrella, Santa Cruz, and Aventura. Also included in San Ignacio Feeder 3 out west and Independence Feeder 2 down south. The next time period is from 9 p.m. to midnight. Areas included are Corozal Feeder 1, comprising San Antonio, Santa Rita Layout, Santa Rita Heights, Vivas Layout, Paraíso portion of North Corozal Town, Altamira, Finca Solana, and Consejo. Included from the Belize District is Ladyville Feeder 2, comprising Ladyville, Lord's Bank, Lake Gardens, Los Lagos, Sand Hill, Gardenia, Biscayne, Rayburn Ridge, Crooked Tree, and all communities along the Old Northern Highway. Also included is the Belmopan Feeder 1, Dangriga Feeder 2, and Punta Gorda Feeder 1. The full schedule can be found on the BEL app. Police Telemedia Limited, BTL, has officially withdrawn its proposal to acquire SpeedNet Communications Limited. In a letter dated August 24th, BTL's Chief Financial Officer, Ian Cleverly, notified the PUC that it no longer intends to proceed with the acquisition and has withdrawn all related submissions. Cleverly wrote, quote, "Therefore, the PUC no longer needs to consider those submissions because the proposed acquisition of SpeedNet Communications is no longer being contemplated," end quote. He added that the decision follows a change in circumstances, but affirmed that the proposed deal had been pursued in good faith and was aimed at strengthening Belize's telecommunications sector, improving efficiency and enhancing services for consumers. Cleverly also noted that the company had engaged constructively with relevant stakeholders and authorities. Belize Tax Service Department staff from offices across the country staged a walkout this morning to demand the government halt parliamentary approval of the Revenue Authority bill so their concerns are properly addressed. The bill outlines the framework for the establishment of the Semi-Autonomous Revenue Authority, SARA. The government set a timeline of October 2026 for its implementation. The bill was up for second reading at the House of Representatives last Friday and was passed. It now moves to the Senate. We caught up with Public Service Union President Dean Flowers at the Belize City Office of the Tax Service.
The officers countrywide decided that they wanted to send a message, a clear message to the management that has abandoned them, to the management that has kept them in the dark, to the management that seems to care less about the anxiety that they have been feeling for over a year. It is tough on them, especially when your management, your own management, seem to be the one that is pushing you out, when that should be the person that should be building your capacity and looking after your best interests and trying to create a soft landing for you in accordance with the law, but instead is using the law to get rid of you. But that is not the kind of management that you want managing hundreds of employees, because it will be disastrous for those employees. There is a total of 236 employees. 153 employees will have to interview. It means that 83 employees will be handpicked, I guess, by the appointed CEO, because it doesn't appear that every single employee will have to interview. And I know that the bill also does not provide for the CEO or the chief officers to be interviewed. And so I think that is something that also needs addressing, that there must be an open and transparent interview process for the chief executive officer. There must be an open and transparent interview process for chief executive officers, so that we do not create what the bill attempts to create, which is an organization that can easily be hijacked by a minister who is answerable to no one, a CEO who is not even answerable to the advisory board, because that's what they do. They provide advice that nobody have to take, and he or she answer solely to the minister.
Flowers also expressed concerns about the procurement rules for the SARA.
We also have fundamental concerns with the bill, where the contractor general has been kicked through the door, contrary to the Finance and Audit Reform Act in terms of how procurement and contracts are issued. The bill kicks the accountant general out the door. She's not even recognized in the bill, because the minister gains all the power of the contractor and auditor general, and he makes the rules. And I'm going to use this platform to ask you, Marisol, and ask your viewers to please read that dangerous bill for Belize. That bill is dangerous. It will do us harm, and it will sure as hell do the employees who remain behind harm, because there will be no checks and balances by those oversight bodies, and those powers are now vested in the minister. The bill provides that those who want to see the procurement rules must pay for it. Any goods or services that is procured must have oversight by the contractor general. So if they are buying a container load of paper, we must ensure that it's open competitive bidding and they will get the best paper. If we buy printers, if we buy pens, if we buy uniforms, if we buy dry goods for the staff, if we're throwing parties because the minister dictates, and the bill doesn't have to say that there must be input. It should says the Contractor General retains oversight in accordance with the Finance and Audit Reform Act to ensure that the people's money, not that the Minister of Finance money, because the bill effectively removes the Accountant General. The Accountant General is to oversee every single penny that goes into the Consolidated Revenue Fund. Well, guess what? The bill doesn't even acknowledge the Accountant General. It says that the Minister controls the tax department. He issues his instruction to the CEO and her chief officers, and they shall, it says shall, execute them immediately.
Flowers said they intend to escalate action.
There will be great action, but we have to be strategic. Today we wanted to send a message, and today we wanted to ascertain in which offices we're strong and in which offices we have to work, in which districts we have to work. But we have a strategic approach, and we will disrupt services not only in this office, but in other critical office in the week to come. We will be strategically asking support for this office in other critical ministries and departments, because you touch one, you touch all. And I think the Belizean people and the public officers and the membership is starting to understand that today, the BTSD, yesterday, that my company's registry, tomorrow it could be me. So easy I stand up against this type of nonsense and this type of crazy governance. This is not democracy. This doesn't even reflect the pledges in Plan Belize.
In response to a claim by the People's National Party's Will Mejia that Cuban doctors from the medical brigade are being sent back home one by one, Minister of Health Kevin Bernard told Creme News XTV via WhatsApp message that Cuban doctors take vacation too. He stated, quote, "The recent social media post circulating which insinuates that Cuban doctors are being sent home one by one is totally fabricated. As you are aware, these persons, including Cuban healthcare workers, take vacation leave during the year. The government of Belize appreciates the support that Cuba has provided in supporting our healthcare services. Currently, there are ongoing diplomatic talks between Belize and Cuba on these and other matters," end quote. Mejia came across boxes being shipped to Cuba and said the following.
Yeah, I'm sad, man. Sad to see that the Cuban doctors who have done so much for this country, I'm sad to see that little by little it seems like they are sending them back. I was so sad to see the boxes on top of boxes that's being shipped to Cuba with the items that belongs to the Cubans from Belize, which means that they are sending back the Cubans. We at the PNP, we are appealing to the government to think about the amount of help and the amount of lives that those Cuban doctors have saved, especially in the southern part of Belize. You just can't send back those people like that without a plan. How are you going to replace them? I'm so sad to see all these boxes leaving that belongs to Cuban medical professionals. Government of Belize, please do something, man. Don't make nobody dictate to you what to do, how to run your country.
After the break, UDP demands answers from BEL regarding higher bills. Stay with us.
Every great job starts at Brothers Habet with the best supplies and the right support, including free delivery on site, so you can focus on the job. Brothers Habet, working with contractors since 1983.
Whether you are a busy person or stuck in traffic or having an adverse or very demanding circumstance, tension builds up, causing you to be stressed out. Stress attacks everyone, anytime, any age. And stress is a killer. Bomb City? It's best to be alive than dead. So visit Freetown Drugstore to get options to relieve stress and to relax your mind.
Yes, sir. What can I do for you today?
I'm so stressed out.
Okay, I'm saying I help you right now. When I this daily? For 10 days, I am good after that, okay?
Okay.
Freetown Drugstore, 28 Freetown Road, where you are better off alive than dead. Freetown Drugstore, telephone 223-2876.
The way Belize uses electricity is changing. At home, families are using more devices, smarter appliances, and connected technology. Across the country, businesses are growing, industries are expanding, and communities are finding new ways to live, work, and move forward. Behind that progress, the energy system must continue to grow with Belize. At BEL, modernizing the grid is part of preparing for what comes next. A grid with greater visibility, more accurate information, and better tools to manage energy as needs change. Through investment in digital systems, upgraded infrastructure, and improved monitoring, BEL is strengthening how electricity is managed and delivered across the country. Not just for today's needs, but for the future Belize is building. As new technology emerges, from solar generation to community energy systems, the grid must be ready to support them safely, reliably, and sustainably. This is the work of modernization, step by step, system by system, community by community, helping prepare Belize for a more connected, resilient, and sustainable energy future.
Nando's Wholesale is your market leader in Belize's wholesale industry when it comes to high-quality products at the most reasonable and competitive prices. With over 40 years in the wholesale business, Nando's Wholesale embraces the partnership of the hotel industry in Belize by providing world-renowned brands in wines, seasonings, condiments, and cleaners in industrial sizes, as well as small and large kitchen appliances and equipment. Nando's also takes pride in providing one of the quietest and most durable air conditioning systems in Belize with technical support and spare parts. Nando's Wholesale. Professional, reliable, effective, and prompt. Nando's Wholesale always delivers. Visit us at www.nandos.bz or send an email to nandos@nandos.bz. Or, even better yet, give us a call today at 222-500 or 280-8080 to speak to one of our sales representatives today.
Hello Belize, if you're looking for the perfect home air conditioner, then listen up. First, choose the right tonnage. Correct sizing means perfect cooling and much lower electricity bills. Now, look for efficiency. GREE uses AI-driven performance to optimize cooling and fight high energy costs. Lastly, don't just cool your air, clean it. Demand health-focused air treatment and smart connected features. Get the global leader in smart home comfort. Contact us today to find your perfect GREE AC.
So it started off like any other summer day in Belize. I decided to go down to Builders Hardware since I heard they had 25% off on summer outdoor products. I got a couple of items, a chair, a grill, a cooler, and I got carried away, but the prices were so good. But anyways, I might have gotten comfortable, maybe too comfortable. Then I saw the news, man, the hurricane season was not playing with me. But thank God Builders also had 25% off hurricane preparedness items as well. Flashlights, batteries, sealant, first aid kits, everything I need. And guess what? My grill survived.
During a United Democratic Party press conference earlier today, leader Honorable Tracy Panton warned that Belize is going through an energy crisis. She said BEL's public relations response to queries over an increase in monthly bills is not enough.
Because Belize, as we all know, is facing an electricity crisis, an energy crisis. This, my friends, is a national economic emergency with immediate consequences for households and far-reaching implications for the productive sector, for the services sector, for tourism, employment, investment, the cost of living, and also most concerning on national security. Across the country, families are reporting bills that have doubled, tripled, and in some instances, increased even more from one billing cycle to the next. These reports cannot be dismissed with convenient explanations, such as, and these are some of the things I've heard, changes in the weather temperature, increased appliance usage, or changing consumption behaviors and patterns. When increases are sudden, widespread, and grossly disproportionate, it requires transparent investigations, not public relations responses.
Panton said the UDP is calling for an independent investigation into all accounts that received the bills, reflecting a significant increase.
This is precisely why the United Democratic Party joins every Belizean in calling for an urgent independent review of the affected accounts, the meter readings, the billing periods, the rate classifications, and the methodology being used to calculate these bills. The electricity crisis does not stop at the household meter. Higher electricity costs are cost of living multiplier. For households, higher bills mean, and we all experience this, less money for food, less money for rent, less money for school expenses, less money for medication and medical care, less money for transportation. Low-income families, pensioners, and persons with disabilities are hit first, and they're hit the hardest. For farmers, manufacturers, agro-processors, and other members of the productive sector, higher costs raise the cost of production, it weakens competitiveness, and discourage future investments. For the services sector, including restaurants, hotels, salons, professional offices, supermarkets, and call centers, electricity is a core operating expense that will inevitably be passed on to consumers.
While discussing ways to address the energy crisis, Panton today highlighted that none of the issues Belize is facing regarding our energy woes was unpredictable. She also condemned the idea of looking to Guatemala for a possible solution.
Belize remains dangerously dependent on imported electricity from Mexico CFE. As I said, we all experienced last night what happens when that dependency goes south. And for some time now, Belizeans have had to endure rotational load shedding when CFE has not been able to provide for local demand that exceeds available in-country generation. We know that CFE supplies just about 50% of Belize's system load. BL has identified the sugar off-season, hydro maintenance, and unavailable generation of BAPCOL among the contributing constraints. These were not unforeseeable events. The end of the cane season is predictable. Maintenance is predictable. Regional supply disruption is a known risk. Yet Belize still lacks sufficient affordable reserve capacity. Consumers remain exposed to imported power volatility, expensive emergency generation, and blackouts. Every time, the cost of that failure is passed on to you and me. Now, purportedly, this administration is exploring opportunities to purchase power from Guatemala. God forbid. If that, my friends, is not a serious threat to our national security, I do not know what is. We ought to remain vigilant on that matter.
Panton offered solutions she said the party feels could remedy our ongoing energy crisis, including removing GST from light bills. According to their calculations, this would cost the government an estimated $40 million.
First, we suggest that we remove the GST from the full electricity charge wherever it applies, not merely from the 1.5 cents copper component for an initial 12-month emergency period. Our rough calculations suggest that that would come at a cost of just under 40 million Belize dollars. We know that the government has recently procured US $100 million from the government and people of Taiwan for general financing support. And 40 million US of that amount is going to be used before the end of 2026, and we do not know how that money will be utilized. We also recommend that BL and the government, who are one and the same, commission an independent audit of contested bills, meter readings, and billing classifications with mandatory credits or refunds wherever overbilling has been established. We ask the government of Belize and BL to expand the social or lifeline tariff to low-income families, pensioners, and vulnerable consumers who are protected, so that they can be protected from the full force of these cumulative increases. And finally, we ask BL and the PUC, because we haven't heard from the PUC yet, whose job is to monitor and to regulate tariffs that are imposed on the consuming public. But we ask them to publish a complete COPA calculation, the cost of imported and local energy, the use of energy generation, emergency generation, and any amount that is being recovered from consumers. And finally, establish meaningful parliamentary oversight of major energy acquisitions, borrowing, tariffs, renewable energy contracts, and implementation delays.
UDP Chairlady Sheena Pitts also discussed the request for the extension of the government's fuel subsidy for public transport and said officials have been on a campaign to paint the private bus owners of the Belize Bus Association as greedy. Pitt said that does not paint the true picture of the situation. She added that the UDP is not against the modernization of the industry, but they are calling for it to be done in a fair manner.
Government made some Belizeans feel like that the bus operators are the problem, that they are greedy, that they are unreasonable. But at the very same time, the government has come to the House with the Public Transportation Investment Bill 2026, which is designed to formalize government's investment in the National Bus Company, transfer public transportation assets, including terminals, to that company and grant it tax and duty exemptions. That creates a very serious question of fairness, ladies and gentlemen. How can government tell an independent bus operator that the public purse may not be able to support a diesel subsidy while government is simultaneously transferring state assets and granting tax and duty advantages to a company in which government itself hold interest? And we don't know what interest. This is not a level playing field. The minister says the National Bus Company now covers the entire southern corridor and approximately 83% of the western corridor. Why fight the northern bus operators for securing the northern corridor and subsidies for the northern corridor? If one operator is becoming dominant while receiving public assets and fiscal concessions unavailable to competitors, it then means that Parliament must demand safeguards against the gradual displacement of independent Belizean operators. So don't join any minister in believing that any bus operator, especially from the north, has an unreasonable point of view just because they're associated with the United Democratic Party.
In other news, the investigation into the Belize River fish kill earlier this month has not been concluded, as analysis from samples collected are not all in. During an interview on Tuesday, Chief Environmental Officer Anthony Mai confirmed that no necropsy was conducted on crocodiles or turtles. He shared that they will develop an SOP, that is, standard operating procedures, to cover such investigations.
Was any necropsy conducted on any crocodile or turtle from the Belize River to confirm that they too died from hypoxia?
So again, the direct answer is no, but we have not publicly stated that the result of the death of the turtles and crocodile was because of hypoxia. So we didn't do any necropsy on those species, but we believe that just as the New River event, that the change within the aquatic ecosystem, the change of the eutrophication causing the dissolved oxygen to be depleted, the fact that a condition like that promotes the growth and proliferation of bacteria that produces hydrogen sulfide, and there are certain bacteria that produces what we refer to as mycotoxin. We believe that those two possibilities may have been the reason why the crocodiles and the turtle may have died. So it could have been as it relates to the generation of hydrogen sulfide floating on top of the river, the crocodile and turtle breathing that in, and that's a very toxic gas that could have caused their death. And then also mycotoxins being ingested by these animals could lead to possible death as well. We haven't done any necropsy, but we are in preparation of this event. If it should happen again into the future, we are hiring a consultant to develop a standard operating procedure for fish kill. And so all of these things will be included into the SOP so that in the future we don't miss any component of the investigation.
Do tests need to be conducted to determine if in fact that bacteria was generated and if the bacteria occurred, if that generated the hydrogen sulfide?
We didn't do any tests for that, but hydrogen sulfide has a rotten egg scent. So based on observation when we went on the river, we found that scent on the river. And we also received reports from village members, from community members, that the river smelled bad. And so we're putting those two together to suggest that the bad scent that they smell may be arachnidic scent, which is consistent with hydrogen sulfide.
And the mycotoxin?
We didn't do any tests for the bacteria that generates mycotoxins, but cyanobacteria is one of the general bacteria that produces mycotoxin, and that generally occurs within the environment. And we suspect that cyanobacteria was present again. And again, in the preparation of the SOP, all of these things will be stated as standard operating procedures, standard data that would need to be collected.
The Department of the Environment intends to hold a community meeting before mid-September after obtaining all data that is still being analyzed. Some of the pending information is related to agrochemicals of concern that were detected at several points near the Santander operation and surrounding areas. The DOE previously indicated that a flood event occurred prior to the fish kill, inundating portions of nearby farms to varying degrees.
Are you able to say what agrochemicals of concern were detected, and should those be in use by the companies operating along the river?
So that's the information that we are currently running. We haven't finalized that as yet, but we do have a list of agrochemicals that are being used within the area. And again, these are agrochemicals that have been approved and registered by the PCB to be imported and used in Belize. So for us, the concern is just the application methodology, so how they apply it, the volume that they apply within a given acre, etc. And these are some of the discussions we'll have with these farmers when we meet with them. We have some dates set to meet with some of the farmers very soon, as early as next week.
After the break, UDP sounds alarmed that proposed new increases could deeply affect tourism industry. Stay tuned.
Connection isn't something you switch on. It's something you build together.
Connected through culture.
Culture isn't preserved in silence. It's kept alive through participation.
Connected through education.
Education doesn't always look like a classroom. Sometimes it looks like someone taking the time to teach and someone else choosing to learn.
Connected through sports.
Before the wins, before the applause, there's belonging. Here, young people learn more than how to play. They learn how to stand together.
Connected through community.
Community isn't a campaign, it's showing up. Not once, but every time it matters.
Connected through you.
Behind every connection is a person who cares. People who listen. People who stay. We don't just connect services, we connect you to your world.
Connected through every chapter.
Smart, bringing people together.
It was rainy, muddy, playing in a whole heap of mud.
We actually started working out of an apartment with about 6 of us. It was only 9 of us.
About 15 of us, not sure where we were heading.
I came from Cancun, Mexico for an interview and I didn't go back.
First time working a big girl job.
And if you didn't know, you had to figure it out. I didn't know anything about plumbing, so I had to study YouTube.
We won the bid.
I definitely have to ask your boss to give you a raise. I plan on retiring here.
8:39 in the night, I'm still picking up the phone and each layer matters, guys.
I want to see or hear people say that Design Depot is a family.
Design Depot to me is like a family.
And we all combined to make this one beautiful Sunday dinner. I don't know who might be the salad, but
1, 2, 3.
Never stop.
Feel the music, live the vibe. The Francis Renault Concert Series presents Positive Vibrations. 3 nights only at the Blitz Center for the Performing Arts. Thursday, September 3rd at 8 p.m., Friday, September 4th at 8 p.m., and Sunday, September 6th at 6 p.m. Belize's best voices, powerful performances, unforgettable energy. Tickets available now at the Bliss Center. Telephone 227-2110 or 600-7453. Positive Vibrations is sponsored by Niche Public Utilities Commission, Madisco, Currency, Belize Electricity Limited, Fulltech Systems, Belize City Council, Norman's Printing, Central Bank, Travelers, and RB's Decor. Feel the music, live the vibe. Presented by the Francis Renault Concert Series. See you at the Bliss.
Maria's was planned to open in 2020, and that's when COVID came. I thought the dream was dead. People would come to my house, they would purchase the coffees from there. That gave me the little confidence, like, okay, I could do this. Atlantic Bank, of course, helped me take the next step. Once I had their support, it was smooth sailing from there. This business is my life. It's literally what provides my family with food and employment. I employ 3 family members, so it's really everything for us.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
As a plumber for 25 years, I believe in quality, and that's why I shop for all my plumbing supplies at Benny's. Cheaper PVC pipes and fittings may save a little today, but leaks can cost much more tomorrow. And that's why I shop at Benny's, because quality is saving.
Quality is savings at Benny's. Best for you and best for me. At Benny's, it's the quality. Benny's, quality and savings.
Ahead of the United Democratic Party's press conference this morning, party chairperson Sheena Pitts voiced support for Belize Tax Service Department employees who staged a walkout over the transition to the Semi-Autonomous Revenue Authority.
To ask you to join us in solidarity with the staff of the Belize Tax Services Department countrywide as they walk out in displeasure with the government's approach to the implementation of SARA and disregard to the remuneration packages. And they are the very pulse that keeps the government functioning. When we use political will to reevaluate, reclassify, and increase compensation packages for the few without regard to the people that keeps the government going, we get demoralized public officers. And so the United Democratic Party therefore applauds all public servants who are bold enough to show their displeasure by walking out. The United Democratic Party goes further, and on record we state that we will rectify this issue when we return to office, because we did it before. We did it before under the leadership. We did it before under the leadership of the Right Honorable Dean Barrow, who adjusted and fixed all public officers' remuneration in 2014, 2015, and 2017. It is this PUP government, immediately when resuming office, they undid this by cancelling that correction. This is what caused the Crown Council in the DPP to stage their unavailability, if you recall, members of the media. But not to worry, the UDP is quite capable of fixing problems that PUP either cannot fix or that they undo.
In one final story today from the UDP press conference, Chairman Sheena Pitts sounded the alarm that proposed increases in fees and tax could adversely affect Belize's tourism industry. There is a proposed increase in the accommodation tax from 9 to 12.5%. Pitts argued that the increase would make Belize an even more expensive destination. She also lamented the new aviation security fee being implemented at municipal airports.
Government's own 2026 tourism documents describe tourism as contributing approximately 40% of GDP when direct, indirect and induced effects are included and supported around 35,000 jobs. Yet we have a proposed accommodation tax to increase from 9% to 12, or is it 12.5%? From 9% to 12.5%, over a 33% increase in tax rate. You didn't hear that. We have an increase of tax from 9% to 12.5% in the tourism industry for accommodation, that is hotels. But wait, tourism does not begin and end with the hotel owner. When visitor reduces a 7-night stay to a 5-night stay because Belize has become more expensive, the loss is felt not only by the country, it is felt by the tour guide, the taxi driver, the restaurant worker, the dive operator, the craft vendor, the farmer, the fisherman, small business owners. Imagine our self-proclaimed cash cow is imposing new taxes. Wait, there is more. Cabinet has approved a $10 aviation security fee on every departing passenger using Belize's municipal airports.
A mother is demanding accountability after her 5-year-old son was attacked by a dog in Mascal, Belize District, while walking to his grandfather's home, leaving him with injuries. According to the mother, the incident occurred on a path she also frequents, and she said the dog is known to be aggressive. The child was taken to the KHMH for treatment. The mother stated that her son sustained bites ranging from his leg up to his head, nearly losing part of his ear. The mother alleged that she attempted to reach the occupants of the property to request assistance with medical expenses and transportation, but no one has offered help. She's now calling for accountability, emphasizing that the attack could easily have cost her child his life. A 19-year-old construction worker from Belize City, Brenton Conrad Archer, has been remanded to the Belize Central Prison following allegations that he attacked his older brother with a knife during a domestic dispute on Friday. Archer appeared unrepresented in the Belize City Magistrates Court, where he pleaded not guilty to a charge of aggravated assault with a dangerous instrument. According to allegations, the brothers were involved in an altercation that escalated when Archer reportedly stabbed his 22-year-old brother multiple times. Responding officers later visited the Carl Huschner Memorial Hospital, where the victim was treated for lacerations to both sides of his mouth and a stab wound to his left eye and cheek. While Archer maintained that his brother lives in a separate yard, the court opted to temporarily withhold bail pending verification of their living arrangements to prevent any potential retaliatory confrontations upon his release. Archer was remanded until September 2, 2026, when the matter of bail will be reviewed. And minor Jordan Tillett of Carmelita Orange Walk has been reported missing after being stabbed multiple times during a domestic dispute at his home on Tuesday night. Tillett was allegedly stabbed by his common-law wife. Sources indicate that following the incident, he fled into the bushes beside the New River. Despite search efforts launched by his family, he has not been located. Neighbors reported hearing loud noises coming from the property on Tuesday night, but because the household was known for domestic disputes, they initially did not think much of it. Early this morning, the Village Council issued a notice asking residents to be on the lookout for Tillett, stating that he was missing and several severely injured, though initial posts did not disclose the full details of the incident. And with that, we've come to the end of our newscast. The repeat can be viewed on this station later tonight at 9 and again tomorrow at midday. Join us again tomorrow for another edition of the news. And remember, you can always catch up with the day's top stories on our YouTube channel and Facebook page. under XTV Belize. And you can watch the evening news live on our XTV, BH, and I app. I am Drea Espinosa. Have a safe and enjoyable evening.